Hey everybody, and welcome to my video here to talk a little bit about meaningful and productive practice, because this is something as a musician, whether you're just starting or you've been in your first year, two, three, four, doesn't matter how many years you've been playing. Practice is one of these things that there's a lot of, useful strategies and ways to approach doing it to get the most out of your time. So part of this video is to share with you some of those strategies. We're going to be talking a lot about these strategies in class so that the students can then take those things home and put them to use when they are not with me, so that our time together is spent really going through and learning all these awesome things that we get to do this year. So there's a couple things, a list of things I'm going to go over with all of you. You can write these down somewhere if you want to, or you can always come back to the video. It will be posted so that everybody has access to it throughout the remainder of the year. So let's get started, shall we? So the list that I'm going to share with you, this is a 4-point list. And if you do these 4 very extremely important things throughout the year, you are going to grow at an extremely fast rate. And that's what we're really working to achieve is, to really understand these instruments, especially as a beginning player, it is a little hard to do. So these 4 things are designed to benefit you to use at home. And if it becomes, something you do week in and week out, your time on the instrument will be more enjoyable, and you'll get so much done this year. So the first thing, this is something we all do every day, whether it's music or not, is to develop a routine, a practice routine. You think about a routine you might have throughout the day. We get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, make our breakfast, make our lunch, whatever it is. We go to school, come home, watch TV, whatever it is. There's a routine, a set of things each day that we do. Practicing is no different because we need to build that into our routine, right? No matter how busy our schedules are, there are ways to manage our time so that practice becomes part of that normal routine. So when you start practicing, you want to think, where in my day do I have this chunk of time, which I'm going to talk to you about in a moment, that I can practice, right? Even just playing for a short bit of time is a huge, huge benefit to you. So setting a routine, priority number 1 on the list of things to talk about. The second thing on the list that I wanted to share with you is this idea of quality over quantity. A lot of times with practice, there's a misunderstanding that, I have to play my instrument for 3 hours straight and I can't do anything else. And after my 3 hours is up, I've done my practice and then I get to do it again tomorrow and so on and so forth. Doing something like that can become very cumbersome, very boring. All right, so my biggest recommendation is to start with 10 to 15 minutes, no matter how old you are, first year, second year, third year, whatever. Start small, right? 10 to 15 minutes. The best thing you can do is to start small and build your practice time the more you start to understand things and get better. Because it's scientifically proven that if we start with small things and we review things in smaller pieces and do that more frequently, our brains tend to remember these things a lot better. Think about a test, for example, in math. If you study 10, 15 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week, then take the test, you're better off to remember all the information than if you cram it in for 2 hours the night before. All right, the third item on my list. This is often one that, some people, they'll go into practice and just practice, but there's nothing to, they're like kind of unsure what to work on. So anytime you sit down to practice, even if it's for 5 minutes, is to set a goal for yourself during that time. Something as simple as, I'm going to play example number 10 out of my book 5 times without making a mistake. That is a goal. It's an achievable goal, and a goal is meant to be achieved, or you might not get to that. So if you don't get to the goal, right, you then have something to work towards, right? Always thinking about the progress as we go, right? So a goal, setting a goal, no matter how small, is so important to effectively growing throughout your time on the instrument. All right, and the fourth and final item that I want to share with you is this idea that I like to call a positive growth mindset. As you know, and as you've probably started to discover, these instruments are not easy to learn. They take a lot of hard work and dedication to be able to get the things done on them that we want. All right. So the idea of positive growth mindset is that no matter how good or bad a practice session goes, you want to leave that session saying, I did the best that I could in the time that I had. I didn't do what I wanted to this time, but here are some things I can do to grow, right? The mindset is it's growth, positive growth, right? Even if the growth is I now can play this one new note better than I did 10 minutes ago, that's progress, right? And that's such a huge thing. So positive growth mindset, it's trying to avoid being very negative. I'm a bad player. I'm not good at this. Those kind of terms, I don't like them as part of my vocabulary because I don't think it's true, right? With positive growth mindset, we can achieve a whole bunch of things because we're always looking to improve. So that is number 4 on my list of things for you. All right, so as we wrap up here, just a quick review of the 4 points. So number 1, set a routine, hold yourself accountable to it, set a day, a time, a couple times, or whatever it is a week that you will sit down and practice and hold yourself to it, because if you don't do that, you're just going to say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And as we all know, often that doesn't happen. Number 2, all right, is quality over quantity, right? Smaller chunks of well-dedicated time are far better than these big, long chunks of time. All right, so start small. 5, 10, 15 minutes, a couple times a week is a huge success on these instruments. All righty. Number 3, set a goal, right? No matter how simple it is, make it something that you are trying to achieve in the time that you practice. Your outcomes will be much more enjoyable, and you will feel more confident in your skills as you track yourself and your goals. Okay? And the last one that I have on my list, remember, is positive growth mindset. You're just learning these instruments, or you're just within your first, second, third year, as we get going, things will improve, right? And you got to stay positive about that. Remember, I'm always here to help. You can message me, email me, whatever you need. I'm here to help you if you have any questions. Alrighty, but those are my 4 things. If you do all 4, this year is going to be a major success for you, and I look forward to continuing to help you build these skills as we get going. All right, thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed.